Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Healthy Living event sponsored by the Juice Plus community. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Carole Turnbo. I'm a qualifying senior sales coordinator with the Juice Plus company. I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a mama, I'm a CrossFit coach, I'm a CrossFit Masters athlete, but my passion is nutrition. My passion is teaching people that food really does heal the body. Tonight, you're going to be hearing from myself and some of my teammates. We've all joined on a mission to inspire healthy living around the world. Tonight, I'm going to start by introducing our product line. Our product line is simple and it's going to remain simple because it's food in a capsule. Juice Plus has figured out how to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I'm going to start with our fruit, our vegetable, and our berry blend. These three blends are 100% plant-based all the way down to the capsule. They're better than organic. They're non-GMO. They're picked at the peak of ripeness, and they have an NSF seal of approval on the label. What that means that what is in the product is actually on the label. So if you look at the fruit blend, for instance, you might not be able to read it, but I'll read it for you. What it shows in here is apple, peach, cranberry, orange, papaya, cherry, pineapple, prune, date, and beet. In each of these blends, you're getting 10 plus different fruits, veggies, and berries on a daily basis. We also have our full spectrum of plant-based omegas. If you look at this label, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Juice Plus has cut out the middleman. We normally know that we can get our omega-3s from fish. Well, Juice Plus went straight to what the fish eat, which is algae, which makes this 100% vegan blend of omegas, which is amazing, all the way down to the capsule as well. It also has, besides the algae oil, it's got pomegranate seed oil, tomato seed oil, and more, okay? We have our complete protein powder. That comes in chocolate and vanilla. It is 100% plant-based as well. We have complete protein bars, and we have something called a tower garden. Our tower garden is an aeroponic growing system where you can grow your vegetables inside your house in a small space. On your back deck, anywhere it grows up. I have one I've been growing. I live in Indiana all winter long, and we get fresh veggies and herbs every day. So it's really amazing. I love my tower garden so much. This is my first indoor growth, and I just love it. I love that I can walk from my kitchen to my hallway 10 steps, and I have fresh herbs and veggies, spinach, kale, all waiting for me. Like I said, we have a lineup of amazing person. She is a presidential marketing director, and she's also from Indiana. I think we got a lot of people from Indiana tonight. With the Juice Plus company, she's a presidential marketing director. And Candace, I know you're out there. I can't see you right now, but if you want to unmute and share your story with us and your team, that would be amazing.
Thank you so much, Carole. It's always a joy to, can you hear me? It's always a joy to join this wonderful group.
I can, yes.
Okay. And I'm going to share my story super briefly because we really have so many wonderful speakers from different walks of life, and I want you to get to hear their stories. My story in a nutshell is that of a mother, primarily 4 sons. They're all grown up now. And when my kids were teenagers, their school got vending machines. And that sounds like a small thing, but it was big because they stopped eating plants along with their other classmates. And I had been helping patients in an integrative health center in Northern Indiana, and seeing people who were highly motivated, who were referred to, they wanted to get better from chronic disease. And I had started to study nutritional medicine in depth, went out of town to Seattle and some other places. We don't get that in medical school. And I was loving helping people get better, but I was still ignoring Juice Plus, which a friend had tried to share with me some 27 years ago now. But as the years went by, as my children's school changed and they had fast food and vending machines every day at school, it only took 4 months for my son to develop asthma at age 15, which he'd never had before. And I was humbled. I found out from a new friend, Susan Wittenbach, that there was good research at medical university. She asked if I was open to seeing that. And I said, absolutely, I'd love that. And then she shared the family health study with me, the Healthy Starts for Families. And I decided to go ahead and get started as a mother, helping my son by me using Juice Plus. And that was the only way our sons even had a chance to use their Juice Plus, is if their parents would do it. They were pretty resistant. They really were. Long story short, we all fell in love with it. My son to this day is a well man whom I admire greatly. He's an emergency physician. It's been 20 years since we had this adventure, and I decided right away to share it. Even before we had any kind of clinical results, I thought, this is food, it's safe, the body knows exactly what to do with it. I love it, and I love the heart of the company. I love this free program for children, and our whole mission, which includes education and support of people on their wellness journey and their knowledge. And that's really my passion, is helping people take their health back. And here, years later, we came with this hashtag, which I fell in love with the minute I heard it, take healthy back. I love it. And so I've been sharing that ever since. This wonderful work has allowed me to do what I love the most, which is helping people take their health back, empowerment, education, building a team of like-minded friends and their like-minded friends all across the country and beyond. It's given us time freedom to be with our loved ones. My main thing these days, and it will be the rest of my life, is helping with my grandchildren, helping my sons, being close to them. We actually moved to be close to them. And I could not be more thankful for this journey with this mission-driven business. So at this point, I would like to go ahead and call on our next speaker. And I've got my wonderful friend Beth here, Beth Magnuson from Osceola, Indiana. She is a wonderful mom of 2 girls, a dedicated wife. Her husband has been a mail carrier for his whole career, literally sunshine and rain every day for years and years. She is a hairdresser, owns her own business, has her own salon in her home, and just a wonderful friend. She's got an amazing health story. So Beth, would you take it away?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so what had happened to me in my early 20s, I started getting lots of sinus infections, and it kind of spiraled down because I kept getting antibiotics. And then after the antibiotics, then I started having digestive issues. And long story short, ended up with candidiasis because unfortunately antibiotics clear out the good and the bad bacteria. And I ended up with chronic fatigue and lots of other health issues to go along with it. So kept going back to the doctor, getting more antibiotics for my chronic sinus infection I had every month with no results. So that's when my family doctor, I had brought a book to her called The Yeast Connection by William Crook MD that I had actually heard from one of my clients because their friend had candida as well. And it made perfect sense to me. I took the test, and sure enough, I scored like the highest you could score. So I took it to my family physician, and she is like, I know who can help you after like 5 years of this. So so that's when I met Candace, was actually when she was practicing in her office. And I did everything, I did everything nutritionally that I was supposed to for a year and a half. And then I also was taking about 20 pills a day to get back my health. Now, this was not pharmaceuticals. This was garlic. This was probiotic. This was, plant tanions. So for me, who never was good at taking pills, taking 20 a day and splitting them up between breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner, it was quite a lot for me. But I was willing to do it because I did realize it took me about 3 to 5 years to get in this place I was at. And I knew it was going to take probably a year to 2 to get better. So did everything for a year and a half, was actually looking for something, like I felt like there was something else out there. And I happened to go to a workshop Candace did, and I hadn't seen Candace probably for over a year, at least over a year. So I started taking the complete shakes because I did like protein shakes. So that was my main purpose. I guess I started on Juice Plus. I went ahead and did the complete shakes, and then I took 3 and 3 of the fruit and veggie. At that time, they didn't have the vineyard. So that's what I started to do. And within 4 months, I noticed no yeast infection, which I had chronic yeast infection for a year and a half at least. And after that, about 6 to 8 months, no more allergy medicine. And I took Claritin all year. And if you mowed your grass, I'd be the first one to shut the windows. So, and now I can mow. I mean, I can mow the grass. I don't take Benadryl. I don't take Claritin. So for me, it makes sense. And I know a lot of people will say, well, I eat fruits and vegetables, but you don't eat the quantity every day, you know. And like they said earlier, it's better than organic, and it's pesticide free. It's and it's, I think, putting all the plants together is what, in my opinion, makes the difference. And it helps to get the good bacteria back in the gut where the immune system is. And so now, I mean, I've started taking it in 2001, and I still have a healthy immune system. I've had 2 girls. They're both Juice Plus babies. And so I'm very thankful that I did meet Candace, and she did the workshop so that word could get out. And so today I continue to tell friends, family, clients, everyone I meet about Juice Plus, because in some form it will help you, you know, help keep your immune system strong, help you get your fruits and veggies in. Our diets today, unfortunately, are not the best. I see kids, you know, even my daughter's friends, Pop-Tarts and a lot of processed foods and sugars and things like that. So for me, it's like a reinsurance that I know my girls are getting something good every day. And I think they see that. They don't, some of their friends get sick quite often. They don't. So that's one thing I think Brianna's noticed, my oldest. So yeah, so.
Candace, you're muted.
You're so right. I was trying to keep my dog from talking to you guys. Beth, you were the very first person to reach that top commission level of sales coordinator on our team. And it's just such a pleasure to know you as a friend and to watch you just blossom as a person in your life, and really a wellness educator for others. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much. Our next speaker will be Ken Dasse, and Ken lives in Lower Michigan. He is a new Partner Plus. He's a dedicated husband and father and grandfather from Coloma, Michigan. He is a devoted granddad, and he is a faithful leader in his church and a leader on his job at the recycling center. And his sponsor is Tracy Lee Smith on Cindy Cohen's team. So thank you so much for joining us, Ken, and tell us why this made sense to you and what you love about, or like or love about Juice Plus. Are you muted, Ken?
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah,
okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yeah. Before Tracy introduced me to Juice Plus, I was looking for ways to get healthier because I used to race motocross back in my early 20s, and kind of lost all the healthiness from my work ethic on that. And of course, as you've already known, or you've heard tonight, our foods aren't the greatest anymore. So when Tracy introduced me to Juice Plus, I was just like, oh, finally something that would help me get healthy again. So I jumped right on, and I just got my reorder yesterday. So I've been on it for 4 months, and noticed that on my job, I work underneath big equipment. I'm a heavy duty mechanic. So I'm laying on my back a lot underneath equipment. My neck and shoulders get really sore. And since I started doing Juice Plus, my recovery time is like cut in half, if not more. It's been really good for me because I hate taking ibuprofen, and it seemed like that was the only thing that would help with the soreness in my neck and shoulders. And now I hardly ever take ibuprofen anymore. So that's a blessing. I've been doing the omegas too, and not too faithfully on the shakes yet, but I'm working on it. And of course, I've been trying to share it with some good friends. I know that I've heard a lot of different testimonials. I know Tracy's testimony of how this has helped her, and I've got some friends that I really would like to see their lives turned around, and I know that's one way they can do it. Because I'm a firm believer in our bodies being a temple of the Holy Spirit, so I definitely want to be healthy for Him and be able to fulfill the destiny He's called me to do. And if I don't take care of my body, then I could shorten my lifespan, and I don't want to do that. So I really count it as a blessing, because I was definitely out looking for different things to try to help me, and most everything I tried was very expensive, and somewhat worked, but Juice Plus is, man, it's not really expensive at all, in my opinion, for what I'm receiving. I'm blessed. Yeah. Unfortunately, our whole family had to go through COVID, and it definitely helped me in that aspect too. But I think if I'd been on it longer, maybe it wouldn't even touch me. But
well, it's hard to know, but you're certainly doing things that support your body and
Yep.
doing the best it can in circumstance. And I know you've got your grandchildren that want you to be there a very long time for them. So I'm
to
really
that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ken. And I wish you the very best happiness with sharing it with people you care about. We know that the timing is everything for people. When I first heard it, I wasn't in a position where I had a need to see, I didn't see a need. My kids were little and they were well and they were eating okay. And it was only years later that things changed. And we do know that wonderful children's health study, the family health study, this is going to be here long term for all of us. It's been well over 20 years and it's just going to keep going. So we've got good news to share, don't we, Ken?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. And our next speaker is Sue Smith, who is a sales coordinator from South Bend, Indiana. She is a devoted wife and mother and grandmother. She is a hairdresser. She's a health enthusiast. Her husband is a hospital pharmacist, and he's been very impressed with the research on Juice Plus, and also a very loyal, dedicated long-term customer himself. So Sue, thank you for joining us. I'd love to hear what you love about this whole adventure.
Well, thank you for asking me to speak, Candace. And I guess you've already done the bio. You know, I'm a hairdresser, a mother of 6, 3 boys and 3 girls, and grandmother of 7. And of course, they're adorable. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about my background. Growing up, my mom was a health food and healthy lifestyle enthusiast, and I was raised with that. And that was unusual, actually, at that time. She was kind of the oddball lady. We could only eat brown bread, never have sugar. I used to think I was really getting away with something to have lunch at the neighbors, because they'd have Wonder Bread and mushy white bread, which I thought was a real treat. Unfortunately, at that time, didn't appreciate all my mother did for me. We couldn't get out the door without a tablespoon of cod liver oil, which I thought was torture. And now I'm so glad for the omegas, because that's a much better product. We had to drink lots of water, and I don't remember talking about 8 glasses, but we were just constantly filling us with water. Exercise every day, get 8 or more hours of sleep, And so having been raised that way, I continued that as an adult, and of course brought that to my children and family. And her example was just a really powerful lesson on self-care, and that very ingrained. And so I felt like I lived a very healthy, that I was a very healthy adult. And then about 10 years ago, I became ill with a hyperthyroid, which is Graves' disease. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it has symptoms of a rapid heartbeat, dramatic weight loss, high blood pressure, restless sleep, and skin rash, eye inflammation, hair loss. Now, these are what affected me. There are other symptoms that other people have, and these are the things that affected me. It is an autoimmune disease. And so I went to the doctor, and he recommended annihilating my thyroid, which would mean medication for the rest of my life. And that seemed unreasonable to me. I felt sure there had to be a better way. So I started going to an endocrinologist who agreed to approach it conservatively. And she put me on a low medication daily. I took that for 2 or 3 months. The symptoms did not change. And as a hairdresser, one of my customers knew about Juice Plus, and she'd been talking to me about it, but she became more assertive with it, with her speech about it. And she gave me a CD that spoke about the bridging the gap between what you should eat and what you do eat. And I thought that made sense with what especially with what I was going through. Even though I thought I ate well, I agreed to try it, and I did. And after 2 or so more months, possibly 3, I went back to the endocrinologist, and she could see a significant difference. And she said to me, what have you done anything to change your routine? And I said, I told her about Juice Plus. I had armed myself with the brochures because I could see it as well, before she did, and took them in and showed it to her. And she said, well, I want you to continue taking it, but I'm not going to document it. And I really don't know why she said that, but that's what she said. So I continued taking it. More months went by, and all my labs returned as normal, and I was sold. And so Juice Plus was it for me. And I was promoting it to people, and of course my family, my husband, who was a little more reluctant because a lot of the research wasn't out yet. And wasn't giving him the right verbiage, but he came on board when he saw me and some other changes. And so we've been taking that, and also, of course, adding the Vineyard when it became available, the Complete when it became available, the Omegas. All my adult children take it. My grandchildren, most of them are on it. Some are too young yet. And so it's been a blessing in our family. And about 7 years ago, I decided to join the Juice Plus company. And I am so grateful that I did that. I just feel privileged to be a part of this caring community of good people. It's just been a wonderful thing in my life. So thank you.
Oh, Sue, thank you so much for sharing. Just thank you. I really appreciate you and your graciousness and kindness towards everyone. Thank you for all that you do. And our last speaker tonight will be Andrea Mather-Stow from South Bend, Indiana. She has been a professional musician for over 3 decades, a teacher of music and oboe, and esteemed member of the South Bend Symphony. And she made the most wonderful statement when she reached the top position in her company, which is called National Marketing Director, some years ago. She said, I'll never forget, she said, I feel that I have graduated from the performing arts to the healing arts. Andy, you have such a healing heart. So thank you for being with us tonight. And I never get tired of hearing from you, my friend.
Thank you, Candace, and thanks for inviting me to share tonight. So actually, it's almost 40 years as a professional musician. I just recently retired, so I did about the 38-year mark, but and as Dr. Corson said, I played oboe and English horn in various symphony orchestras and did lots of freelancing and boatloads of teaching. The thing was that brought me to this Juice Plus table was in 1999, I had been diagnosed with MS. So you've heard all this autoimmune disease stuff tonight. And Sue, your story was so profound just now. So, you know, and this May, I just was doing the math, it's going to be 22 years since I've had my diagnosis. I cannot believe how time has flown. But, you know, after a third opinion from different respected neurologists, I chose a holistic path instead of the traditional medications that were being offered, which all worked by suppressing the immune system. And like Sue Smith was saying, I just wanted to see first if I could find a way to let my body heal itself. And so I just tried all kinds of different diets and cleanses and some homeopathy and all kinds of holistic and alternative therapies. And it was in 2001, so this is 2 years after the diagnosis, a nurse friend invited me to join her to talk about nutrition. And I immediately said yes, because the topic of nutrition was right up my alley with all the research I was doing at the time. And it was that night in August of 2001 that I first heard about the Juice Plus concept from you, Dr. Corson. It just made total sense. And afterwards, I introduced myself to you and confided with you what I was dealing with, because I was very private about my diagnosis. And you said, well, absolutely, it certainly can't hurt. She says, there's no disease process that doesn't benefit from better nutrition. And so she suggested, if you do decide to try it, which she strongly recommended, and yeah, it made so much sense. She didn't do any arm twisting. So when you get the bottle is going to say take 2 of each, but she said that's the recommended amount for as maintenance for the average adult. And right now I was not average. I wasn't then, and I still am not average. I was then taking double and sometimes triple, and I still do to this day. But the thing is, the Juice Plus has ended up, I kind of view it as my medicine. I mean, well, I'll back up a little bit. In the very first week that I was taking it, I didn't notice anything. About week 2, I started noticing that I was craving spinach when I woke up, and it's like I wanted spinach, like I needed spinach for breakfast. It was so weird. So I made sure that I had some in the house. But then, and I still felt really, really awful. I was tracking so many different symptoms. But then at about 6 weeks into it, I woke up one morning and none of the symptoms I was tracking were there. The brain fog had lifted. I had strength in my arms. I was making fists. It was like, oh my gosh, I had strength back. And the weakness from my tailbone down had lifted. The incredible heavy fatigue was gone. The pain behind my eyeballs was gone. My vision was clear. So it was a totally amazing day. And I think there had been so many years of decline that I had reached a new normal, and then feeling well again was like a miracle. It was so amazing. And I knew, and you know, after about a week of that sustained feeling of quote unquote normal, a new normal, of feeling what I think we were supposed to feel like, I realized that the only variable had been adding the Juice Plus. So knowing that, I knew that it was the Juice Plus that was the catalyst that helped probably complete some of the detoxes I was doing, and has to this day continued to be like my medicine. I never tell people that it cured my MS, but I know it was a huge player in helping get me to where I was feeling like a normal human being again, and has, you know, really offered me a healthier existence now than I was as a child up through my 30s, because I was always very sickly with other things. And I think Beth Magnuson mentioned, you know, all the other things that it helps with, you know, just the colds and the flus and the bronchitises. And every year I had at least one bronchitis or pneumonia. I mean, I was always on some kind of medication. So I mean, I don't want to say how old I am. I guess I have my mom's instincts in me not to tell anyone how old I am, but I just feel so much better, so much older than when I was sick all the time. It's like, this is not the way it's, you know, by nature, we should get not well the older we get, but I feel like I'm getting healthier the older I get. So it's pretty wonderful. So long story short, I decided to partner with a company because you know, on a musician income, taking double or triple the amount, and I'd be on it the rest of my life. I decided to partner with a company. So initially I could get the wholesale price, but then, you know, being affiliated with the community and the culture has just been such a blessing, and it grew into a career. And, you know, it's like, I'm trying to see, I actually took some notes here, but I'm not reading them. But one thing here, I wrote a note here. I said, the Juice Plus business is similar to the music career. It's earning a living, doing no harm, and bringing only goodness to the world. Both careers offer healing, the performing arts and the healing arts of nature via nutrition. So I'm just so grateful that I kind of have gone full circle, because I wanted to be in the medical career. I made a decision last minute to go into music. So now I'm back in the kind of like the medical career, because I'm helping people be healthy in a physical, tangible way. Whereas when you perform a concert, you don't know how you've touched somebody's life. You just go your black clothes and put on comfortable things. And so it's a very tangible way of helping people. And I just love doing this work. So Candace, I'll pass it back to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Andy. You've touched so many lives for the better, and that ripple effect is powerful, and it's still going outward, and it will continue to for a very long time. What a joy to do this with you. And I just want to wrap it up by saying, I think what each of us did when we finally realized that Juice Plus is food and it's safe and it's something good, is we added it to our food bill, we put it in our food budget. And I think that's an important concept, because if we can help people see a way that this is food, they can choose if they wish to add it to their food intake. It's part of the food budget. And that way, you know, it really fits in with what it really is, which is food. And I love that it fits with what Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine, let medicine be thy food. So Carole, thank you so much for letting our wonderful team share tonight.
Wow, you guys, thank you so much for sharing. I felt like everybody was at home because you guys were in Indiana, most of you, and Ken's in Michigan, so nice and close to me. Josh is in LA. Josh and I started this, and there's like a room full of people here from all over the place. And we meet here every Thursday night, same time, share these stories, the wonderful Juice Plus company that we have all partnered with, and we invite you to join us again next Thursday. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.